Did I hit it? I have no idea. Oh well. Let's shoot a little bit. Good afternoon, y'all, and welcome to another episode of Farm to Target. We are out here today at the range getting a little bit of training in because we are T-minus 1 week out from a Tactical Games regional event in Holt, Florida. It is the whole reason that I decided to come out here and build this range, the whole reason I decided to kind of get in a little bit of shape, and we're going to see where we stack up against the rest of the competition around the southeast around here. So just thought I'd come out here, shoot a little bit, get a couple stages in, a couple mock stages, get sweaty, get hot and sweaty, put some rounds down range, and maybe take some time to kind of show you kind of what I'll be running here through the games. First time just from doing research and just kind of feeling out, calling some people that have competed before, getting an idea of kind of what to do without going out and just buying a whole bunch of new gear. That was the one thing I didn't want to do. I already have a plethora of gear, weapons, nylon, things like that. And if I was like, if I can make what I have work, maybe it may not be perfect, but if I can make it work for this time to see if I like it, because this is my first time doing it, we're going to make it work because money isn't finite and isn't infinite, and we're going to see. And I am poor. So let's start up from the top. We'll get into the nylon first. So what I'll be running for the games this year, or this time around, is move this out the way, first generation shellback Banshee. It's old, it's run down, but it's comfortable, and I don't feel so bad if I absolutely shred the rest of this nylon. As you can see, it's well held together with a little bit of electrical tape, a little bit of love, and things like that. Inside of it is actually something new I did order. It is the Jackrabbit training plates that were designed with the Tactical Games in mind. They're 7 pounds a piece, they're flexible, but have enough rigidity where it doesn't feel like all the sand's hitting you in the gut while you're trying to do burpees or running or anything like that. So that is something I actually splurged for, because for the first month or so I was training for this, I had my level 4 ceramic plates in training, and they'll humble you. These are actually a little bit heavier than the ceramics, but just because they're rigid and you're trying to do burpees and go over obstacles and things like that. And I don't want to crack the ceramic by doing something stupid like just slamming my body into the ground out here, because that's what you're supposed to do. So we all opted to order the Jackrabbit plates. They come highly recommended from everyone that competes in the Tactical Games. So we're going to run a set, and I didn't mind spending that money because that was really my only investment so far. As y'all can see, front of it's being ran slick, so it's been changed out kind of how I normally run this, with a placard up front and an admin pouch and a few other pockets on the side. Less weight is more. And you want to try to have the front as slick as possible, from what everyone has told me, and just from me trying to play around shooting under some barricades and some other stuff. The lower to the ground you can get, the better. So the slickest front, the front is slick. The S-Tac triple placard that I usually run in the front is now being ran at my 3 o'clock. I'm left-handed, so coming out from here works pretty good. Is it the most comfortable way to run these? No, probably not. But again, we're trying to do it on a budget, and we like balling on a budget. So we're going to run them like these. It works. Again, these are going to be more admin reloads than anything. It's not doing 1R1s or anything like that for the games. There might be a few traditional 2-gun stages, but nothing where I have to go super duper high speed that I can't pull a mag out of my belt. So these are kind of ran over here just to have the round count on me while we're doing the stages. But other than that, it's getting ran almost absolutely slick. This is the only thing that this will have on it. So I weighed this as it sits with 3 loaded mags, give or take. It's about 17-ish pounds, which is over what we need to be, and that's all that matters, but not too heavy. So we're going to make that work. Down you go. And see, and I could throw that on the ground and not feel bad about it. If those had ceramics, and I'd be like, so I don't feel quite as bad. Moving on, take this out. We'll talk about that later. The belt I'll be running for the games this year is just my go-to range belt that has been changed ever so slightly. I've taken some stuff off, added some other stuff. All this is an S-Tac shooter's belt. It's a two-piece belt with an inner and an outer. I've been running this belt for probably 5 years now, and it has been phenomenal. I cannot recommend this enough for the price. They are affordable. It comes with genuine Cobra buckles. It does not stop. So I cannot recommend that enough. So S-Tac shooter's belt. Going from my left to right, just running a S-Tac double pistol mount, pistol magazine pouch, running Glock mags, a single rifle mag pouch from S-Tac, a generic Amazon dump pouch that I have found because most of the stages require you to carry at least 5 pistol mags and 5 rifle mags. So if I've done my math correctly, I'll have to probably put some in the dump pouch as I'm going. So I'll have to probably run a couple pistol mags in the dump pouch as well as 1 rifle mag or 2 rifle mags, just to no 1 rifle mag. Math. 3 on the vest, 1 on the belt, 1 in the dump pouch. Math is hard, guys. Stay in school. Stay in school. So dump pouch ready to go at a moment's notice. Mini IFAK unlabeled, just because this is a pouch I've had laying around, and I've had this on this belt for years and it doesn't come off, so it stays. So it's got a couple just small things, rolls of gauze, some pressure bandages, just daily things that people don't think to keep. I'm a big proponent of keeping goodies, powders, and ibuprofens and band-aids in these, because most people aren't getting shot at the range. Have the stuff in case it happens, but most people are like, man, I really wish I had an ibuprofen right now, or man, a goodies powder because my head's killing me. So keep the simple things in your IFAKs, guys, but also keep stuff that matters. North American Rescue tourniquet holder with just a cat tourniquet in it. Moving over to the holster. This is kind of a hybrid that I've made of my own design, but it's not. I've had to modify it. This is a Midwest Tactical Solutions Enforcer Level 2 holster. Cannot recommend them enough. It's sitting on a Safariland UBL mount. Uses the Safariland SLS hood system, push down, come down with it. That I have had to kind of chop and modify, because originally this was for a Glock 17 with no optic, and I have since started running a Glock 47 with a hollow stone on top of it, so I didn't feel like ordering another holster, even though their turnaround times are pretty dang quick. I was kind of short notice for the games and the pistol I decided to run, so we've kind of chopped and modified it. Thankfully, the 47 and the 17 have pretty much the exact same dimensions for all that matters for a holster, so that's what we're running. So Cordura wraps, Kydex, active retention, because I really don't feel like running just friction retention while trying to do dumb exercises. So if I can hold on to the pistol, that'd be great, because if you drop a firearm or a firearm comes unholstered or anything at any point in the stage, it's a DQ, disqualification. So holding on to your weapons is very important. So that's what we're going to be running here for the game. So moving on, and again, it's nice. Well, nice scuba webbing, so you see it's nice and rigid. It doesn't bend, it doesn't flex, fits on the inner belt and the outer belt just fine. Throw that down out of the way. Moving on, sidearm, Glock 47 Gen 5, Border Patrol custom of specifications. They asked for it, Glock made it. It's just a glorified Glock 17 with an MOS plate that can slide onto a Glock 19 frame. For all you fun people that like playing around, I don't really ever care to play frame Lego with a Glock. I'm just glad it works. So here it is. Anyway, just keeping TLR1 Streamlight on it. Go-to light. Surefires are cool, but for price to performance, it's kind of hard to beat these. And I mean, there's a reason they've been a staple in law enforcement and everything else for the past 20 years or so. So proven track record, doesn't break the bank, does what it needs to do. No complaints right there. Running a Cogworks extended slide stop slide release. I have a very high thumb shooting position while I'm shooting. So as you can see, hopefully that's in frame. I have issues with high thumbs. It's something that I hope to train around, and I'm working around it. But for now, the temporary fix is to run this Cogworks slide release which scratches the shit out of your frame or out of your slide, but you shouldn't care about that because A, it's a pistol, it's a tool, it's meant to be used, and everything along those lines. So scratches on a pistol does not bother me, and it shouldn't bother you either. We're adults. If you're worried about scratching your pistol, leave it in the safe and never shoot it, and leave it in darkness because you don't like doing anything fun, and shooting a pistol would make it get used. Sitting on top is a Holosun 509T. Sitting on a, oh Lord, who makes this plate? Now I'm drawing a blank. I'll put in somewhere over here who makes this plate. But it is a very low riding plate. As you can see, these are factory Glock plastic, field gold sights, nothing special about them. And you can see I could almost, if I really wanted to, co-witness platinum sights, plastic sights, if I really wanted to, not suppressor height. But that's not the point of a dot. But some people like that option to do that. I don't give two shits about that because I just don't. If I was trying to co-witness this with the dot, I wouldn't put the dot on it. I just use irons. Been doing it for years. Other than that, at the bottom down here is a SLR EDC magwell. This is still my carry piece. I appendix carry this almost every single day in a T-Rex holster. So again, not having a super flared magwell is nice, but having a little something better than stock was nice. So this fits the bill well. I cannot recommend this enough. This has been phenomenal. So that's it. Nothing special. Internally, this is all stock Glock trigger, stock Glock springs, everything. I'm a firm believer if you carry a weapon, don't change anything on the inside. The closest thing I've modified to the inside is the slide release, and that does not affect the shootability of this weapon. If it doesn't lock back, guess what? Oh well, I've put 17 rounds downrange, and I'll just have to rack the slide and try again. So don't modify the inside of your carry pieces, guys. No reason to do that. So this, again, other than what's bolted on the outside, this is a stock Glock. It just looks shiny because it has some go fast parts kind of bolted onto it. So that is it for that. So moving on. The bread and butter of my setup this year is the rifle I am running. So just to kind of preface the kind of engagement distances we're looking at, anywhere between 25 to 500 to 600 yards are some of the stages I've seen for a rifle engagement on some of these stages. So you have to kind of pick and choose kind of what you want to run. The general consensus seems to be that a 16-inch rifle is the way to go. 14.5s, 10.5s, that whatever you want to, go for it. Just for as far as utility use of trying to engage those ranges, 16-inch seems to be the go-to for everybody. Take it from the tip, go down to the butt is what we'll probably do. Tip to butt. Hey. So at the end here, because I play around with this weapon a lot and shoot it suppressed a lot, it has a Yankee Hill Phantom QD flash hider on it. For the tactical games, you cannot run a muzzle brake. It has to be a flash hider or a birdcage. Or I think they allow war comps and 3-prongs and stuff like that too, but it just, as long as it's not a compensator or a brake. So the flash hider is already on here, so this is going to remain. I will not be running a can for the games because A, I don't want to be rucking with this rifle or doing something with this rifle and a 700-degree can comes along and burns me in the back of the neck and the leg. So we're not going to deal with that. Plus trying to engage these longer distances because I plan on probably missing a lot because I'll be out of breath. I'm fat. Heat mirage off the can, trying to look through an LVPO at these longer distances. So trying not to make it any more difficult than it has to be. So that's it. So coming back a little further, all this is a 16-inch ballistic advantage, not a pencil profile, but not a government profile, somewhere in between. It's whatever their mid-profile barrel is. 16-inch, 1 in 7 twist, has been flawless for me, as accurate as I'll ever be. I'm sure this rifle could be more accurate than it is now, but it probably outshoots me. Just a standard low profile gas block underneath. Running here is just a 15-inch Midwest Industries combat rail. I run a lot of Midwest Industries parts on all my rifles. I cannot recommend them enough for what they do and what I use them for. They are phenomenal. This thing right here has been nothing but great. My 10.5 runs a suppressor-ready Midwest Industries. A new weapon that I just bought is getting some Midwest Industries goodies on it too, but I can't tell you what it is because that's a future video. So again, 15-inch Midwest Industries handguard, good enough. Just a mag pull, hand stop foregrip. Again, just running it as a barricade stop more than anything. As y'all can see, the rest of this rifle is slick up front. Weight is the enemy during the tactical games. As cool as it is to show up and be high speed as hell with, running, Surefires and PEC 15s and all this other stuff. It's a lot of barricade work. It's a lot of putting this through tight holes and trying to get to it. Okay. So I opted to go as light and as narrow a profile as you can. So that's what we'll be doing today. Going back a little bit further, this is actually, and you may notice Bubba's Custom Gunsmithing here, because Midwest Industries runs some indexing tabs on their rails to index with just a regular milled, regular forged upper receiver. This is actually a Brownell's Sporter receiver. So flip around. So it's a billet receiver. Again, no forward assist, just a dust cover, and you can see the profile here is rather thick. Shaves off some here. This is an upper I had lying around when I built this rifle, and I was adamant I was going to use it, but I could not use it with the Midwest rail. But because there is so much extra material right here, Bubba's Gunsmithing did not mind taking a Dremel tool and slowly but surely fitting this. There's enough material here, guys. I promise. This rifle itself in this configuration has probably 2,000 or 3,000 rounds through it, at least. I've had this upper for going on 7-ish years now in some sort of this configuration. It hasn't exploded now. I don't think it's going to explode. So yeah, so if you can get past Bubba's Gunsmithing, it's actually pretty flush. That actually looks pretty good. So it gets used. Again, guys, weapons are tools. They're meant to be used. If you're worried about scratches and imperfections and stuff like that, go play piano. Go collect grand pianos. I don't know, guys. If you care about scratching stuff, hey man, rattle can your shit. Have fun with it. This is obviously rattle can. It was originally an FDE upper, and then after I did my gunsmithing on it, I had to redo the paint on it, so it got a nice coat of quick dry spray paint. So that's how it runs. Going down to the lower, all it is an Aero M4E1 lower. Has a CMMG ambi safety on it, a Geisley SSA trigger. The SSA is cool, but SSA was on sale when I bought it, and again, we're doing it for a budget. So that is actually a new piece in this rifle. I was running a mil-spec trigger in this, and I had noticed when I was winded trying to make these long shots, I was jerking the trigger hard as I could be. Not even trying to, like, you instinctively can't help it. You're just trying to collect your breath and trying to control your heart rate, and it's just hard to do. So I decided I'd splurge a little bit and drop a decent trigger in it. So it's got a Geisley SSA in it. It's rocking some B5 furniture, just B5 grip, B5 SOP mod stock. Nothing really fancy there. Seems to be the go-to for most people these days. Just a Magpul MS whatever sling. I think it's the MS1, but it's padded. I don't remember. Magpul sling, guys. It's just sling. Holds rifle to body. I mean, do some slings have some cool features? Cool. But ultimately, what's the goal of a sling? Rifle to body. So that's cool. Go ahead and flop this around. Pull this out. Running as a poor and wrong-handed individual, but just a BCM ambi charging handle. Nothing to it. And then just a Brownell special bolt running in it right now. This is actually a temporary backup bolt carrier group that I have in it just to run it for today. I'm running a Faxon bolt carrier group for the games. It is in another rifle that I just got done shooting, and I just didn't feel like swapping it around for the video. So this is what's in this rifle right now, and it's just fine. I would probably run this in the games with no questions asked and be just fine. As far as optics, the general consensus seems to be LVPO is the way to go, which just seems like, that might be just that new modern age hotness. That's what everyone wants to run these days. I am a firm believer of a red dot. Just for the distances I'm engaging, a 3x magnifier just wasn't cutting it for my eyes because my eyesight is shit, really bad. So we decided to mix it up a little bit. So we are just running a primary arms SLX 1-6 on a primary arms mount with the ACSS reticle. It's been great, even for me that has some really bad depth perception issues because I have very different vision in both my eyes. It's still been very easy for me to engage targets from varying distances with this. It is holding zero phenomenally. it's been on this rifle for probably 2-3 months now, so I haven't really beat it to shitting back to really see the longevity of it. But I mean, it's taken all the punishment for all the practice for the game so far, so it's doing good enough for now. So I didn't really want to drop the money on something more expensive. I think for this mount and for the scope itself, I spent somewhere right around $500. Don't quote me on that. I think it was somewhere up in there. Go to Primary Arms, put it in your cart, and check it out. But for now, that's working just fine. So that's kind of just what we're running for the games, guys. So we're gonna have some fun and go from there. So we'll see. First games, First games, really don't know what to expect other than, watching other people's videos on it and what tactical games themselves they post. It was something I toyed around with a few years ago about doing, but due to my schedule and how chaotic my life was a few years ago, it just wasn't possible. So now that, we've slowed down, life's gotten a little less chaotic, thankfully. I finally have told myself, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it. So I signed up for it in January, and I said, I got 3 months. I got 3 months to A, stop being a fat piece of shit, and to hone my craft a little bit in shooting. The shooting side, I was fairly confident in. I've always tried to work and manipulate myself around a range and not just stand still and shoot one round every 1 second like all the boomers say you should. So I have taken a lot of pride in my ability to shoot. It will still humble you when your heart rate's in the 150s and 160s and you just got done doing something trying to get that under control, and you realize how shit of a shot you are when you're under a stressful situation, or a mock stressful situation. It's not really stressful. So I had 2 months, 3 months to prepare, and I said I was going to do it, get locked in with it. I'm competing in the intermediate division, which I thought was good for me, just saying because I haven't done it anymore. So I haven't done it before. So we're going to see how that goes, and I'm feeling pretty froggy about it. I won't say that I'm confident that I'm going to do good, but I feel good in my abilities in both shooting and fitness at the moment because of how hard I've been working that. Even if I don't do well, I'm still going to be grateful for the time, and also I'm in probably better shape now than I've been in 10 or 15 years. And that's a win in itself. So even if I show up to the games next weekend and come dead last, I'm still in shape. And I still built a really cool flat range. I finished building out a sweet rifle to compete with. And I had a good time doing it. There was nothing stressful. And this was actually one of the main reasons I wanted to start a YouTube channel, was because, well, I finally feel like I had enough content and enough ideas that I can make enough videos for you all. So that's what we're working with. But other than that, guys, we're just going to run a couple drills. We're going to get hot. We're going to get sweaty. And we're going to see how bad we suck. And we're going to try to suck a little less by the end of it. So come on, guys. Let's have a good time with it. It's fucking impossible to shoot the fucking wind.